Hello and welcome to another episode of Tiffin Talk. I am Mayor Tim Kasparek.
And I am Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember Tim Orris.
Today we have a very exciting episode and a very important guest, maybe the most important individual in the city right now, at least from the perspective of people want to hear from this individual. So without further ado, I want to introduce Water and Wastewater Superintendent Brett Mehmen. Thank you, Brett, for being here.
Glad to be here.
Obviously, the reason I give the intro is we know that we have some water quality things, and we're working on a lot of those things, and a lot of those things are imminent. So I think this is going to be a fantastic little segment here.
That's right. And Brett's going to give us all kinds of insights on why whatever happens.
Yeah.
With the water system. I'll try my best.
Correct. We're going to kick it off, Brett, because I think what we're finding is that a lot of our listeners, a lot of our community members don't necessarily know. They may have heard the title Wastewater Superintendent. They may even know who you are, but they may not know what you do exactly. So we're going to start with that. What do you actually do here?
I see all daily, day-to-day operations of the water treatment and wastewater treatment facility. I take care of all the distribution system and the collection system for wastewater. Oversee my employees, make sure everything's being done correctly, and making sure the water plant's running as well as it can. Mm-hmm. Same with the wastewater plant. I make sure all the appropriate tests are being done every day. Hardness, chlorine residuals, pH, iron. Wastewater is the same thing. We have several tests we have to do. We have to set up samplers, collect samples, test them out. It's a weekly process. We use pretty much every day for that. We do it's flushing iron filters, making sure the softeners are working correctly, checking valve or exercising valves, flushing hydrants, just maintaining the system, raising valve boxes, doing locates for 501 call, talking with engineers for current construction on plants, clearing for that.
You install new meters as well.
We take care of the meters. We have to put them in the system, take them out to the contractors, those plumbers to be installed, tracking all that, changing out bad ones. We certainly did the upgrade, so it's all fixed base, so she can read everything. It's not from City Hall, so that's quite a help to us. And she can actually do data logging from her desk if people have questions about it. So it's not we've saved ourselves a lot of time. Instead of having to go out and get daily data logs and reads, she can do everything from the LS. So it's a time saver.
And those are not very invasive, because I know when you came and did ours, my granddaughter was napping while I was rocking her, and you and your people moved through and changed the meter and came back out, and she never broke it. You never woke up or anything.
A lot of it was just a matter of popping the head off and putting it on a different type of head on the meter, so it could run that fixed base meter.
Great.
Yeah, duties.
I neglected. We should have started, because I think this is really important, just as a get to know Brett. You've been here a long time.
32 years.
So why don't we're going to rewind a little bit here.
Right.
And start over with how you got to where you're at now. 32 years is a long time. Kind of give us the intro to Brett.
So I was in the Air Force after high school. Once I got out of there, my uncle was a subcontract for several different communities around eastern Iowa. So I started working with him doing lab work. Tiffin was one of them. He was subcontracting for. I went to school at Kirkwood for water and wastewater treatment, got the diploma from there. Tiffin was looking to hire a full-time employee. So I applied, interviewed, and they hired me back in May of 1994. Been here ever since. I wasn't really sure if I was going to be here long because it was a pretty small community. I didn't know where but I'm like, well, it's starting to grow. I think I'll stay for a while, and here I am. It's grown.
Now you were always wastewater, or when you started, it was a hybrid position or something?
No, I was public works director. So
Okay.
I plowed snow, mowed the grass.
That's what I thought.
I did everything.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just me.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
So we really skipped the order. I know we did Dietert's interview
Brian,
several months ago. We really should have started with
we should have started the original public works director.
right.
Yeah.
Brett's probably been waiting for this. He's like, when do I get my time?
Yeah, I hope you're not offended.
No, he's fine.
Yeah.
How many people are in your purview?
There's three of us.
The three of you.
Yep. Me and then Adam Emrys and Jacob West.
And how many wells?
How many wells do we have?
Yeah.
Currently, we have 3 wells.
Okay.
Well 3, well 4, and well 5. Well 3's been here since I've started. Well 4 was added around 2004, and well 5 was added 2 years.
Is this to mean then, since I'm not catching well 1 and 2, those were
capped.
okay?
They were in existence when I came, but well 1 was just a shallow sand well, and that well 2 didn't pump that much and was really high for any nuclides. So I decided to get rid of that and just use the Jordan.
So that's a good segue. How deep or what aquifers, I think the word is.
So well 3 and 5 are in the Solarian aquifer. 1 is about 300 feet deep.
Okay.
Well 3 is, and then well 5 is 450 feet deep. And the Jordan well is 1,650 feet.
So
deep. But the pump setting is about 500.
Okay. So which one's best, or is there a best one?
Oh, well 5, the newest well puts out the most flow or best pumpage. Well 4 and 5 are real flows. They can pump. We backs out the frequency drive on. We can get them up to well over 500 gallons a minute. Well 3 kind of stabilizes down to 260s.
But of the different aquifers, is there a better one to be in? I mean, as far as the hardness, because that seems to be a
Solarian well is just right in the middle of limestone, so it's very high in calcium and magnesium, which causes hardness, and it's full of minerals. So that's why we still, even though you soften, you take out the calcium and magnesium, there still was a lot of other minerals. And that's the issue we have with like a lot of hot water heaters.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get rid of all those dissolved solids. Now, when we send it through actually it's going to be called nanofiltration, not full reverse osmosis, not quite as tight of a membrane, but still it should remove all that. It'll remove most of the dissolved solids. We'll still got to mix some hardness back in because you don't want, once you get that, remove everything, it becomes too aggressive. Right. So you can't send it out too aggressive.
So I shouldn't say we, because I got nothing to do with it, but you're doing everything you can to make this water
as much as we can,
as workable in the homes as you can. It's not like you're going, never like
yeah, no, let it go. The main reason we do soften though is to remove radionuclides. Soften removes that. So we do, I mean, when I first came to town, we just pumped it out through iron noodle filters, and it was over 500 milligrams per liter. So 30-something grams per gallon of hardness.
How much is it now?
It's around 15 grains, 250 milligrams per liter. So.
And with the new system, what will it be?
Will be 6 or 7 grains per gallon, between 105 to 120. So we're
talking like almost a fifth of what it was.
Well, it'd be less than half of what we're sending right now.
Okay,
the big deal is the total dissolved solid will be they'll be under 500 for sure. Okay. We're up around 1,100. That's why you see that white, if you got a small leak or something, like where your meter's at, you'll see that white crustation bill, and that's all the total dissolved solids that are built up.
Great.
Collects the bottom of your hot water heaters
or around your faucets, and then your wife makes you get lime away and clean it away.
And everybody likes to take their hardness to 0, which makes it even more aggressive to hot water heaters. And I can't do anything about that because when we test it, it's fairly stable when we send it out, but I know people want to get it softer, try to get, and that also does not help with deterioration in your tanks. But hopefully people will be able to turn their softness way down or disregard them altogether. over those tanks.
So that was my question with the new system. What I'm hearing, you won't need
You should
softener.
Yeah, you won't see that build up on your showers and your fixtures. But you shouldn't.
So you literally, I believe I was at the senior coffee here. No comments, man. I was at the senior coffee and what he said was you can soften it to your taste. So if you want a certain flavor to your water, I guess is the best way. He said, but you're not going to need to do much, if any of that.
Right. You should.
Okay.
You shouldn't not need to.
Okay. All right. Great.
Did you get all your questions answered?
No, these are questions.
This is for you. This interview, this is just for you.
Okay, Debbie, did you hear all those? Because I got through our list.
I could listen to this kind of talk. So, little fun fact. My dad was a well driller. So I grew up listening to well talk and water talk, hardness, softness, all of that stuff. So I love listening to you spout numbers, talk all about it, because to me, it's just super fascinating that we dig down, pull water out of the ground, and there's a whole lot of science to all of it. So,
And it's hundreds of thousands a year.
yeah, absolutely crazy. Brett, I do think, again, with the water quality challenges that we know that we have, I mean, you and I haven't talked about this prior, but if I'm you, there would be a part of me that would be like, you feel that. You probably take that a little bit.
I take it a little personal.
Yeah, a little personal. That's the perfect word. What would you, I guess maybe kind of what might people be surprised by in the work that you do? Or, I don't even know the right word, the right way to describe what I'm trying to say, but like, what are maybe some misconceptions about either what you do or the process or things like that, or something you want to not get off your chest?
Misconceptions?
Or just things that might surprise some people about wastewater, things that they may not know that would be important for folks to know.
Like me, because his dad drilled wells. So sorry. Tell me something that the either wastewater or the water system, that I might be surprised, that you do or that you have to deal with.
I think people are, when they actually come down and look at the wastewater plant, they're kind of surprised about how many moving parts there are to it. Instead of just sending like a two-little moon and in it goes and out it goes. There's a lot more of that process than what people think.
Yeah.
The water plant's pretty simple. I mean, it's just a higher pressure removal filters and then softening. They're just tanks of just water moving through them. So you don't see a lot. But with the wastewater plant, you can kind of visually see what's going on. I can explain it to you.
It's an interesting question. What gets you more excited, water or wastewater?
Wastewater is actually more challenging.
Okay.
The plant can get upset pretty easily, and then it's a challenge to kind of, okay, what do I got to do to bring this back?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I kind of know the answer I know a very high level answer is, but in the wastewater plant, you use chemicals.
Yes.
Okay. Usually it's running through just in a very
bioaugmentation, so you can get bacteria that you can get that helps fight against filamentous bacteria, which is a bad bacteria because it doesn't let your solids settle out, so your clarifiers don't send out clear water.
Okay.
Sometimes when you get that buildup, you had to add some chlorine into your return activating sludge to remove that filamentous bacteria, and then add the bacteria after. Different stuff like that you can do. You got to monitor your dissolved oxygens in the tanks. Clean the probes more frequently. Adjust the blowers to run more often or at a faster rate. So there's all kinds of different.
So when you say bacteria, to me, that's not like chlorine. That's some live bacteria.
Yeah, it's organic.
Yeah, organic. There you go. That's what I'm going for. Okay. So a lot of it is organic, and you just tweak it with chemicals.
Just dried bacteria and throw it in, and then it starts to populate.
Okay, so it's not like you just randomly pour chemicals into it to clarify it.
No.
You let
it's
bacteria
pretty
do it
much
naturally.
It's a natural biologic, but sometimes it needs a little kickstart.
Yeah. Or if it gets off track.
Right.
You need to.
You get a
break
plan
that
upset, then sometimes you need to break. Yeah, you kind of got to remove all those old bugs, waste them all out, and kind of start fresh.
Right.
Add some of that to it.
I used to do that American Pest Control, give it bugs, but I guess it's something different, maybe. I don't know.
So that might be something people wouldn't know.
Well, and that's kind of what I thought. When we went on our tour, I thought it was just, dump chemicals in here, dump it in this point, and it wasn't.
There aren't really a lot of chemicals.
It was a lot of biological, it was natural.
Yep,
Nature take its course and clean them off.
Yep, just making sure
Or clarify it. I don't know.
you're wasting the right amount of solids out every day to maintain the right mixture in the tanks for the proper cream. You get that built too high, the bugs get old, they get lazy, they don't work.
Okay, speaking of solids, there's got to be solids. What happens to them?
The solid?
Yeah.
Turns into sludge or biosolids.
And then,
So those old bugs that get wasted out into a digester, so that mixes, you turn the valve on, you pump it into a press, you press it out and try to remove as much water as you can. It goes into the sludge holding tank, and from there it usually gets loaded into a truck and landed off.
okay, there you go. That was what I was going to. There's got to be a lot of solids.
Yeah, there is.
And so I'm just curious on what happened to the solids.
So let's go to farmland.
There you go. Don't get it. I probably really didn't want to know, but I thought
It's interesting way how we ended up to there. Yeah, like I don't feel like you could have said that much differently. I appreciate the way that you said it. Brett, clearly been here for a long time. In your own words, how have you seen Tiffin change since you started?
Well, pretty much everything. We'll start population 450, now we're at close to 8,000. So we made major improvements on the old part of town. When we first came into town off the interstate, it curved and I think Ranch Street. So that was a huge improvement. Just being able to get off the Highway 6. But yeah, all the urbanization of the old part's done, all the new additions. So everything in town's pretty much less than 30 years old, which is good.
Right.
Our collection systems, our water mains have all been, especially the old part of town too, have been improved. New water mains, the old pipe was here's a place pipe put inside, moved a lot of the infiltration that for the collection systems. We don't get it during a rain cycle. We don't get as much rain and water. The wastewater plant can handle. We don't get hydraulically overloaded. There's just been just employees.
Right.
Well, it was just me. Now we're up to 30-ish. Yeah.
Well, and you also deal with the runoff, the street, the stormwater. That's the word I'm going to.
Brian
I should have gone to the.
I'm trying to hand that off to Brian. That's kind of streets department.
But at the same time, I happen to know they're really reviewing that whole system, are they not? Or is it the sewer system that to make sure everything's?
We reviewed the collection system for wastewater,
And to make
okay. And we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I mean, because I know you that was another part that you were involved in was making sure that
we have the capacity.
when you flush your toilet, it goes the right direction.
You're not bang up on you.
Hey, right, or down the line on the neighbor.
So yeah, they did that study, and we're looking pretty good in pretty much every part of town. We can expand a little bit to the north and west and still be able to handle it. So
Okay.
that's why we did that study. So future expansion, we're pretty well doing.
Good.
You gonna be around for that future expansion?
I might see the future expansion of the wastewater plant. I may not run it. That may be somebody else. Probably will be.
Obviously with all of that growth, there's a lot of challenges that come with that. What are top, whatever you want to call it, top 5 or so challenges that you've seen?
Yeah, so
Experience.
So big one, when you expand, sometimes you get contractors leave some pipes like left open, so we'll get a big rainstorm. I end up with a bunch of mud at the sewer plant. Just you're taking on more. They're taking on more organic loading. So when you're before you're getting a new plant, you're trying to make that plant run as well as you can with its limited capacity. So that's a big challenge. Water plant, we have been always able to keep up with it, but it was designed to handle. I mean, we're doing well keeping up with the existing plant, and water, like I say, it's mainly water quality issues now. Yeah. Trying to keep people happy, which is we're working on that.
Although I think we've answered a lot of them, I have a question that says, what is the biggest misconception about water/wastewater? What do the homeowners think is happening, or that you're doing or not doing that?
They don't think that I'm like causing the water to be worse. I mean, I can only control what's coming out of the ground to what the treatment.
Okay, well,
Process it.
I've heard the mayor blaming on you.
Yeah.
I don't say this.
Jeez. With that in mind, because I want to make sure that we stick to our time allotments for producer Ashley. We talked about it a little bit, but let's do a more concise, informative discussion about the new water treatment center.
Yes.
So why don't you, Brett, just kind of give us an overview of that? How did we get to that point? What were the discussions leading up to that? And then we can fill it around it, because I've got some things I want to add to that too.
So the whole pushing issue behind the new water treatment plant was chlorides. So we're discharging too many chlorides out of a wastewater treatment plant. Well, that can't be treated at the wastewater treatment plant. That has to be, you have to change your water treatment process. Now we're using salt, so sodium chloride, so that ends up going to our sewer plant, and that goes out into the effluent.
And it's into the stream. You can't take. Okay.
And you cannot remove that unless you basically just have to change the process. So the best process is to go to is either electrodialysis reversal, which is starting to go. I know Washington had it, but they've gone to reverse osmosis, which a lot of people are going to avoid having to add salt to treat radionuclides or just soften water.
So the new plant will address that.
It'll address that. Yeah, chlorides will go down, and in effect, everybody else will be able to turn their softeners down, so it will reduce all the chlorides that should be coming to the wastewater plant.
So if I've got a water softener and I choose not to change it, I'm not helping you.
You're not helping me out. Those are we're gonna have to go around and make sure. See if people are actually reducing that.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, why wouldn't you? It costs less salt.
Yeah, you use less salt
as it has to go through the cycle.
Recycling.
Okay. All right. Great.
And what I know it was before my time. I don't know if it was before your time. Conversations that led to that. When did we start talking about that as a city?
Oh, probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we knew chloride limitations were going to come, but then they finally did say, okay, this is on permanent. You have to meet it by 2025, which we couldn't, but they know now that we're building the plant. Usually when you're in progress, they'll give you an extension. We have till 2027, but it should not take that long.
And I think the part that I wanted to add to this conversation, I think that, and I wouldn't expect our residents to know this, but we're always battling budgets from a city and a council perspective. So I think what I would like the listening community to know is that no one was sitting here saying, we don't want to spend the money on that, or we don't want to do that. But I feel like I've given so many interviews about budgets and things like that. And I always describe it as the chicken or the egg situation, where we've got to be able to fund these things, and we've got a list a mile long of what's really the priority.
Right.
And then you got to balance that with your growth, your tax revenue. How do those things all actually make sense? Yeah. And when does it make sense to actually do that? So I think that's an important thing. Like, obviously everybody in this room is aware, that, water heaters are taking a beating in Texas, for lack of better words. But no one in this room also is sitting there saying we don't want to do that. I think, so anyway, I just want to set the record straight, I suppose. But I think it's a big thing because we're getting there. It's really exciting. Where are we at in the schedule right now, Brett? And what do you see for the future? Maybe not be so firm with an end date.
I know the substantial completion is supposed to be September 30th. They're still pushing hard to meet that date, but I'm thinking they should be there by October, if not then November, Thanksgiving for sure, I would think.
So substantial completion. What does that
Means
mean?
the plan is, our old plan is actually up and operating.
Somebody flips a switch and we suddenly
We're up and running, and we're putting out
Okay.
good RO water.
Okay. Excellent.
Nanofiltrated water.
Well, and I love it. I was just, we joke about how much running I've been doing lately.
And that is become a big joke.
Big is that? Was that a chubby joke?
No,
I was out. It's fun to run past the trailer where that area is. You can see all the progress. So to the listeners, if you haven't been on the trail over by the water treatment center, you can see the progress.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks great over there. So to reiterate, substantial completion schedule currently, maybe September.
End of September.
But listening public, don't hold us to those dates. But that's really exciting because I know at one point in time, we weren't sure if it was going to be in this calendar year. Also, probably want to talk about a little bit. We were held up front by some
Permitting.
yeah, but so what did we lose? Maybe almost a year.
A year.
Was that due to the location and that we had to get?
No, this was
No,
DNR. They had the building plan, the engineer plans for a year.
So it was the DNR that kind of tripped us up.
Yeah.
In their suspect. Okay. Which, you've got to work with them. So,
yeah. But really fascinating stuff. I think what I've been wanting to say for months now, and it's hard to put out in written form, but if you are not changing your anode rods now, you absolutely should.
You should.
Because,
tomorrow.
Well, because I mean, with knock on wood, we're right around the corner, so to speak.
Yeah.
If you can get some life left, and then hopefully we're not having any of those issues.
Change your anode rod, flush it out. Try and stay on as long as you can.
Yeah.
And it's unpreventable.
Mm-hmm.
It helps to do maintenance.
Are you 3 years in? After 3 years here, we had to change it out, and it was under warranty, but the labor is almost more expensive than the water heater itself. And at that time, they said, "Have you ever changed the anode rod?" And it's like, "The what?" And he showed me, and since then we've changed it, and we'll be there 11 years. And I'm not going to say how long we've owned it, but we've been there 11 years, and we've still only on our second one. So okay, knock on wood.
You don't change that yourself.
After you shamed me into doing it, I'll be doing it this year.
Well, I know what maybe did that start when you started attending the senior coffee hours? I'm sorry. That was mean. I should.
I'm gonna have to walk with a limp when
Brett, are you excited about the new plant?
Absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward.
What changes in your?
It'll be a lot more daily operational monitoring.
Okay.
So although they do have it like a system that they collect the data and it goes back to Honor, which is in Florida, and they monitor that to see if the membranes are working correctly, if it needs to be cleaned. But North Liberty, which basically has the same water as us,
right?
They went 5 years without having to have it to be cleaned, because when you clean it, it's a pretty good process.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do a high pH, caustic, and then a low pH, and then warm water flush. It's quite a process, but if you can get 5 years out of it. And they said, we talked to the Horn rep yesterday, he said there's no reason we shouldn't be able to get 20 years out of membranes.
Wow.
Before we have to.
So even when you have to do that, do you bypass the system, or
so you just run a 2
o'clock in the morning?
You just work on one skid at a time.
Oh, okay.
You basically shut that skid down, pull the membranes out, replace them. or when you do the cleaning,
Right.
it's just one water at a time. You just run the other skid layer.
Okay. Okay. So should be very little effect to people.
Right. It shouldn't have any effect on our ability to make water.
And refresh my memory, the current iteration of this plan has how many skids?
Right now, we're planning for 2.
For 2.
So that would, when I run full bore, we can produce up to 1,200 gallons, 11 to 1,200 gallons through the skids. Then we're also putting water through our removal filters and combining it back in. So, yeah, I think we're actually producing around 12 to 1300 gallons on those skids.
And then am I remembering correctly, the building will be big enough to house 4 skids? Okay. And then is it still believed that, and I could be misremembering, we think those 4 skids would be good up to about 20,000 people?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. So for the general listening public out there, we oversized the building, left room so that we can add more equipment to it as we grow.
Right.
And that should be good for up to 20,000 people. I think,
Which is going to have to add more wells.
I was going to say, and at one point in time, we talked about another tower. Is that not necessary?
Exactly. It was one in the capacity because we're going to have a 400,000 gallon underground storage tank that the RO feeds into. Then we pump from that to the tower based on the tower level. When that starts to get to be a constant up and down, well, we can't have any capacity. It's just a water moving through constant. Then we'll probably have a water tower for storage.
So, what you're saying is this plant that we're building with that storage tank has pushed back the need for another
one tower. Okay.
Yes. All right. Great.
We have quite a bit of capacity. Yeah,
okay.
Close to 1 million gallons capacity. We're in the storage. But we can always, when we need more water, we'll have 3 ice hose pumps. So I can actually kick on another size. We usually run one at a time. But so I can kick on another ice hose pumps to meet that demand in the fire.
Or when we're all watering our lawn in July.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we turn another skid on to meet those demands.
Well, just so you know, my lawn's on its own, and Mother Nature's making.
I water it. Yeah,
I just don't have to mow it as often, And
just yesterday we pumped over 800,000 gallons. I don't know if we're losing some water. We went out and looked today to see if we got any leaks in. We're demanding.
Because what's our usual daily average?
During the winter time, we're right around 450,000. Summertime, right around 6 to 650. We start pushing 8.
And you did 8? Yeah.
I know they're filling new water mains and flushing to meet bacteria for new subdivisions and new developments or whatever, but we should be past that.
Tim, sounds like you've got some leaky toilets at home.
Yeah, but we compared that with the metered water.
My wife thinks that noise is net.
You just got to jiggle the handle a little bit.
That's right.
Just jiggle the handle.
Sounds like a red-green fix to me. A little duct tape.
So we talked about the new water treatment, but wastewater will be kind of close behind that, right?
Behind.
So talk about that a little bit.
So it's plant right that we have currently is designed for loading about 9,000 people, about 8,000 now. So it's generally a 5-year process, start to finish, to build a new wastewater plant. I know we have to get waivers from people within the distance of building that new plant.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't want to get to the point where the plant's not meeting and we still want to build.
Now, is that process similar to water treatment that we can add on to the existing plant, or will it be a brand new thing?
It'll be a brand new thing, but we had back in 2000 or 1999, we weren't meeting ammonia limits. And we were building the new plant, but they still made me get a temporary, they moved it based on running a temporary wastewater treatment plant that I had to run above ground, which was no fun because when it gets cold outside, above ground, stuff freezes. You're climbing up and down ladders to this plant. So they say you can do this, or we're putting a moratorium on here. So like we had no choice. We had to have that plant to meet them how it is. So they'll do it. Wow. If you're not meeting the limits.
So that's what could happen again if we weren't
If we're not ahead of the process.
right. If we don't keep up and stay ahead of it, yeah, we could have.
I'm not saying we can't get more than 9,000 people out of the current plant.
Mhm.
There's things that you can do, like add like 100% oxygen in them, and like the sludge handling. I might be able to put it in a centrifuge and dry it out more, so I have more capacity. But basically, it'd be more like as for the treatment process, making those tanks higher oxygen levels, and the more oxygen I have, the more freight they're going to get out of those, and for the volume you have. So we're looking into some of them things. Our engineer is. So.
Well, all I would say is stay really fit in case you have to, be climbing again. Because, you said you'd be here for the wastewater, so that's hard being here for the wastewater.
All right. We'll go to a couple lightning round sort of questions here. What should residents never flush or pour down a drain?
Flushable wipes.
Flushable wipes are not flushable.
They're not flushable. Yeah, they go down, but they're terrible. They're hard on pumps. They're hard on when they get caught up in the lines, and they'll plug the lines. Because sometimes there's drops in sewer lines where it's caught, and it makes a big fall, and it backs things up. So we have to get the jetter truck out and jet them out. Yeah, that's the worst thing. Other than that, just any kind of really corrosive chemicals, anything that would put a shock on my sewer plant. But it can usually, just don't put too much of that stuff. Paint, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah,
just use common sense.
It's going somewhere.
Yeah, it's going.
It could cost some money.
I've seen 2x4s down in the screening room. Yeah.
Oh man,
I haven't looked at flushable wipes before. It'd be interesting if there's like a little tag at the bottom that says not actual.
It's false advertising. It's like it's
flushable wipes, not
Don't report this to your local wastewater.
All right, so I'm going to go to a positive side. What is something residents do that actually help the system? Or do they do something that might actually help the system?
That help the system.
Use it properly, I guess, would be the easy answer.
I mean, when they dig out like fire hydrants and stuff, that's more for fire protection and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, if they could just prevent from flushing.
The ones that the flushable wipes.
So put it this way, the non-biodegradable objects down the toilet, that's my, if you could just do that, that's my biggest ask.
Okay.
That's fine.
So you've already said one. What, within reason here, what is the most unusual thing that someone has flushed that you've come across?
Like t-shirts or sweatshirts or
2x4.
2x4s down balls. I don't know how they get. Like sometimes I think they just lift the man.
Oh, sure.
Ooh. I could get some.
See what Brett thinks of that.
Yeah. Here you go, Brett. Have one of these.
Okay, we've covered all of the fun water, wastewater stuff. This is just to the human side of Brett Mehmen. Funniest call you've ever received?
Funniest call, I've had two of them. Same call, asking me why Tiffin ran out of hot water.
Why did you?
So I actually do want to build another hot water tower. We got to put cold on that one. We got hot on that.
And we can put Tiffin in red on the hot.
Yeah,
on blue on the cold. Right?
No, that's happened twice. Yeah.
How long do those conversations last?
They're usually pretty short.
They're pretty short.
Well, I was like flabbergasted, and I should have said, "What? Call your dad and ask it." I said, "No." I told him, I'm like, "Call the plumber." Hot water heaters now. Oh, what's that? So yeah, that's the most unusual call.
That's like someone saying, "Does chocolate milk really come from brown cows?"
Right.
It doesn't?
I had a good friend ask me that. Does chocolate milk come from brown cows? No, dear. Just like water, it all comes.
Brown eggs come from brown chickens.
All right.
Craziest weather event you've had to respond to?
Oh, well, the, what was it called? Derecho? The derecho. I don't know. Just dealing with that, cleanup and stuff. I didn't take as much part as Brian and Israel did, but
you
was a big one. But just the big rain events where we had 6 inches of water in like 45 minutes. So, yeah, there was just not enough storm to take on that much water. So it starts backing up at the people's garage doors, like, because we have what do you call it, the swift, so it doesn't run off in your storm. They put those
the straw,
the socks in front of the intakes.
Yeah.
When you get that much rain, then you have to take a tractor out and run through 4 foot of water and get those cleaned away so the water will run away. So it's end up in somebody's garage or a house. So that's probably it.
Yeah.
That much rain in that short time was.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's and going down to the sewer plant, it was pretty much inundated. So we used to get a big trash pump out. Help it out and tell the DNR, like, we had to bypass the flow, otherwise it was all
literally. So if that's connected into the sewer plant, it loads into the sewer plant, and
well, they're not a combined system, but sometimes you just get so much infiltration.
Okay.
It just hydraulically overloads your wastewater plant, and then all your solids that you got in your tanks just start to disappear.
Go where solids
you
go.
got bypass. Yeah.
We talked about it. Yeah.
When the bypass pump is pretty much all rainwater at that point anyway. So
yeah.
Brett, last question. We'll get you out of here on this. Most rewarding part of your job?
I just like to think that I'm keeping people safe, giving them good, safe, clean drinking water. I like to believe it or not. I mean, we meet all the EPA and DNR requirements to make sure that it is good, safe drinking water, whether it's a little high in dissolved solids and rots out your hot water heater. It is safe to drink. And just see it, knowing I'm maybe leaving this town better than I should.
Well, I know you're leaving one street better.
Yeah.
Is it Mehmen Avenue?
Mehmen Avenue.
Mehmen Avenue. That's it.
Shortest street in town.
So even though you leave, you'll be remembered.
I'll be remembered. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I just don't see anybody anymore have the longevity that you've had here. And then to see all the growth and be a part of it from the very beginning is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I've only known you for about 5 years, and the intensity you have with what you do, although, like I said, at Senior Coffee Hour, just be quiet. I told them, they said, well, what do you say? And I said, well, it's pretty much gibberish, but it was all technical and biosolids. And I said, so I think it's better, but I don't know for sure. But just to me, the intensity and your knowledge is such a benefit to Tiffin.
Well, that's what I think. When we talk about misconceptions, like growing up in a household that was around drilling and all of this, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is, people think of what you do, or perhaps what my dad did, like you're dirty, you're working with your hands, it's rough work, it's whatever. But there's so much knowledge and intelligence behind all of that. I think that's one of the big things that I would hope people understand that. I want people to understand, but I don't know that they often do. Right? There's just so much science and so much intelligence behind
science, technology, that kind of thing.
So it's changed quite a bit. Yeah,
well, and you said the new plant's going to be more technology that you have to keep track of and watch. So yeah, it's not just, you're not just standing there leaning on
the change in technology since I've been doing this is pretty amazing.
Well, thank you, Brett. Appreciate it. You can come back anytime. I don't know if you want to. If you would like to, you're more than welcome. Thank you for joining everybody on this edition of Tiffin Talk. I'm Mayor Tim Kasparek.
And I'm Tim Orris, Mayor Pro Tem and Council Member.
And we will see you next time, everyone. Thank you.